Hello, I'm Alan Edwards, celebrant with Fuze Ceremonies. We are delighted to be sponsoring this episode of I'll Do the Talking with George and Caitlin. And make sure you subscribe and you don't miss out on all the fantastic chat from great suppliers who are going to be on offering you tips and advice in future episodes. So subscribe and get the latest one onto your device. And if you're on the hunt for a celebrant for your wedding, check out our website, fuzeceremonies.co.uk. On our availability checker, you can enter your date and your wedding location. It will bring up the profiles of all our brilliant celebrants who are available on your date, and you can arrange a no-obligation chat with any of them. All of us legally authorised to marry you anywhere in Scotland. Ceremonies tailored to your needs and wishes, and the right amount of humour included if you wish. We'll look forward to chatting to you soon.
Hello and welcome to I'll Do the Talking. My name's Caitlin.
And I'm George.
And today we're joined by a lot of Fuze guys. I'm feeling a little bit intimidated, but we've got Laura
against one.
and Alan here. Thank you very much for joining us.
How are you?
Yes, great. Thank you. How are you guys?
Excited. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling I'm a part of the clan by honorary member today.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Honorary
I'm
member
excited.
always, not just today.
Love it. And Alan, just before we get started, I have to say, see your videos that you put up every month of where you're going. You say, okay, I'm starting here and then I'm going to this venue and this venue. I love it. But you don't go home in any of them. Do you stay in those venues?
It's true. I
just stay there.
I go from one to the other, and I either sleep in the car park
Right.
or I try and get a mate's
That
rates
wee
room.
aeroplane doesn't go
Come
home.
on.
We're really worried about you.
I'm still waiting on the helipad
Right.
being constructed in my back garden so that
Got
I can
it.
go home in between ceremonies.
Right.
Once that's done, there'll be a bit
Then
more
you'll
back
go
and
back.
forward.
Got it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just so we're
Every
clear.
month I wait for it and I'm going, right, the video will be out, and I go, he still hasn't went home, is he okay?
Yeah, I've literally just come from a venue to be here,
Yeah.
and then I'm going back there
Brilliant.
again once we're finished.
Love that.
And stuff. Yeah, it's great to have you guys on. And I kind of know your stories, of course, but let's get into a wee bit of like, why the hang are you in the wedding industry sort of conversation. I'm going straight to you, Laura. You're the backbone at HQ, kind of keeping it all working together. So just give us a quick rendition of what's brought you here.
Default, really. I have been brought in to Fuze by Anna Morag, who founded Fuze, who are my auntie and my cousin. So, yeah, in a real snapshot, I was looking for a job. I decided I'd had enough of the career I was doing at the time. And, yeah, they basically offered me a job, and I turned down Disney for Fuze. And for anyone who knows me, I'm a massive, as the room all is, massive Disney fans. So I actually turned down Disney for Fuze, and I do not regret it for 1 second.
Wow.
That's a big statement there.
I know.
Yeah,
Huge.
It is. Love it. Love it. And Alan, what about you? How did we get here today?
Oh, if you'd said to me even 10 years ago you'll be working in the wedding industry, aye, right. But here I am. I mean, it really kind of came about. I'd done, because of my background in radio, which is what I've done since I left school practically, I would always be asked if I was at a wedding or a funeral, could I do a wee reading? And it was always,
Right.
yeah, fine, no problem. And a couple of times people had said to me, you'd be really good at that celebrant stuff, or whatever word they wanted to give to it. And it wasn't really until I was getting married myself, which was 3 years ago. And actually I met another one of our colleagues, guys, Thomas Slavin. And on the business card we got from Thomas, that led me to the Fuze website. And there was this little bit about celebrant training. And it was COVID time. So my radio work had everything was a bit quieter as it was in a lot of worlds at that time. And I thought, this might be the time to actually sort of, investigate this and pursue it. So I had a lovely conversation with Laura here, who
I'm always there, like a horror character. I always pop up.
and she told me how wonderful Fuze is, and I've still no reason to believe any different after all these years.
You said you need to believe it.
So yeah, and did my training from there. So that was the first half of 2021, and it's built up from there. And here I am now, over 100 ceremonies in, and timely as we record this, I've just made the commitment to go full time as a celebrant.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
which is
That is fantastic.
exciting and nervous all at the same time.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Well, we're very glad that you chose the routes that you did to bring us here today. For those who are just listening, no, sorry, actually, those who are watching and not listening, if you close your eyes and listen to Alan, it's so strange. The first time I met you, I'm pretty sure I turned around and just closed my eyes, was like, go and talk, because I was like, wait, I need to match the voice up with the face. And
you were so
bring it all
disappointed when you saw
together.
the
I'm
face.
like, oh God, stop. But today we've switched roles a little bit. So, Alan, you're usually the host of another podcast.
Yes.
So the Say I Do with Fuze podcast. So you have switched around a little bit.
It's a bit weird,
from who's
Caitlin. I might drop into default mode and just start asking you a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
but just
go for
please
it.
feel free to call me out on it at any point.
Basically take over, I think that's cool.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
that was being polite.
You said it, George, not me.
Before we dive into the Say I Do Fuze podcast, being in the celebrant industry, then before we go any further, you need to take your I'll do the talking vows.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So I prepared these for you, and as is customary, Caitlin has no idea. It's a
No
little
idea
kind of
what
thing
to
between
say.
the she's no idea what the guests are about to say. So if you can pass that one to Laura for me,
Okay.
Alan.
There you
Thank
are.
And
you.
if you do that one, Alan, we've lovingly prepared these for you both
Okay.
in full celebrant related mode.
Right.
So, Alan, over to you. Take your eye to the talking vows.
I, Alan from Fuze, solemnly swear on this pod mic to tie the knot in conversation as neatly as a hand fasting, to pour wisdom like whiskey into the quaich, to spark insights brighter than a unity candle, to stand firm like the oathing stone and keep it real. And with George and Caitlin leading the vows, I'll do the talking.
Wow, fantastic.
How many gestures could we get in?
Exactly.
Try to count on my
Half an
fingers.
A4 sheet of paper.
Keep counting. Laura's not
Oh, here we go. So I, Laura from Fuze, solemnly swear on this pod mic to weave words as carefully as rings are exchanged, to take this chat in one shot like a unity drink, to sprinkle truth like confetti down the aisle, to promise a smoother flow than a piper's entrance tune, and with Caitlin and George keeping us legal, I'll do the talking.
Love it. Love it.
They're great. I love them.
And that is your little memento
Thank
from
you.
appearing on the show.
It's already
Take
going
them
up on the
away, show them all your family and friends when you get home.
That was great. I have to say, I think that's my favourite
Listen,
one.
yeah,
So
There was
far.
like no pressure, like I'm a celebrant. These have to be the best ones yet. 100%.
Exactly.
Good work, George.
Well, now we can continue with the podcast episode. But going back to the Say I Do podcast, Alan,
Yeah.
and obviously I was there for every episode.
Yes.
Sometimes starring and mostly producing and doing that sort of stuff. But and we've still got them running, you know, when we want to do. But any favourites stand out to you? And what do you think it means that we've even created that for Fuze?
Do you know the great thing about it, George, is that some of the episodes are a couple of years old now, and we actually said at the time when we made them, the content is evergreen because all the things that we spoke about, the gestures, the rituals, the vows, the legal stuff, all that kind of thing, all still relevant to couples who are getting married now, and people who were listening to them, you know, a year ago, a couple of years ago, you know, they've served their purpose for them. But there are couples who've just recently become engaged or have been engaged for a while, maybe just starting to plan the weddings. Well, they'll still find them and still find that all the stuff is relevant. Favourite ones or more useful ones, I guess. You've kind of got sort of both angles there. Definitely the legal one, and I'm sure maybe we'll come on to talk more about this as we go on here. But that's the bit, you know, the couples are always a bit, as soon as you mention that to them, they're a bit like, well, we know we need to do it, but we don't really know what happens.
Yeah.
That's probably, and it's maybe not the most jolly and entertaining in that sense, but in terms of the information within it, it's pretty crucial. So definitely, that's episode 2, by the way. Definitely, definitely worth a listen. Yeah. And we did one on different forms of poems and music, and vows and all that sort of stuff. And that kind of brings to life, maybe sort of introducing people a little bit more to the things that they maybe didn't realise they could do in the ceremony. Thought, oh, right, okay, that sounds quite good. And the other one that I quite liked, just because it was a bit of a different slant, was what the day's like for us as a celebrant when you're preparing for a wedding, and you know the things you go through, you know, practicing the script in front of the mirror, George, and you know, looking out your gear the night before, and you know, making sure you're not going to be hit by traffic, and you know, making sure you take the time to get your obligatory meal deal on the way either to or from the venue, and all these sort of things.
Yep.
So but it gives you a kind of scope of the different length and breadths of stuff that we talked about. So yes, the Say I Do with Fuze podcast.
I like how you said they're looking in the mirror and practicing, but for as long as, well, whenever I lived back at home, I was the practice dummy.
You were the mirror.
with my partner, and it was, Caitlin, Callum, come through here while I read this, eh? Let's see how that sounds.
Yeah, definitely.
So I had the unique perspective of getting to get a real practice shot before it was my turn, and so
what
that
about the legal
was
stuff, Laura?
interesting.
You're at HQ. Tell us a wee bit about, for the watchers and listeners, about how you support the team, and in particular, I know you take a lot of calls and emails about legal stuff in particular.
Absolutely. So I am the voice that people hear when they call the office. I'm the person who will reply to an email that they send. So the main thing really is about the paperwork and the, you know, what people have to do and when they complete it and things like that. So we're on hand to advise with everything, you know. So there are certain things that we will point the couples in the direction of the registry office because it's a legal decision that needs to be made. But we're there on hand to make sure that the main one is normally to do with if someone is not using their legal name anymore, or if there's a parent that's maybe not in the picture, not wanting them on the forms, things like that. But we'll guide as much as we can. It is the most important part. This is the thing, as you say, it's the most boring part, but it is the most important part because you have to have it. So yeah, not only us at head office, but also the celebrant that the couple chooses are there on hand with any questions at all. Always there, always happy to help if we can.
And on your website for Fuze, one of, I think, my favourite features is the live availability checker. Now, I love just going on and picking a random day sometimes because there's some people's names that I don't know, or there's no. I'll just pick a random day and go, okay, who's available, and clicking into all the profiles and things like that. Why, I guess, was that important to kind of put in for people? Does that help? Was that helping like you guys a lot on the back end side of it?
I think for us, there is so many celebrants to choose from across Scotland. You know, hundreds. So for us, what we wanted to achieve by the live availability checker was to say to people, come on our website, have a look, and it's second by second updated. So it doesn't update at the end of the day. It's as you click on, that is who is available at that given moment. People can then look incognito. There's no pressure. They're not having to pick up the phone. They can browse till their heart's content, have a look through the profiles. There's a link on all of the teams' profiles to their reviews that they've had, their social media, also their email addresses, so they can actually bypass me at head office and actually go straight to the celebrant. I never get offended when that happens. That's fine. So it means then that people can sit at home, you know, on a nice coming into winter's evening, sit and have a look at who's available and have a browse without having to feel overwhelmed. Also, as well, by looking at 70 faces plus on a website can be very overwhelming. So they can actually look at just who's available. And also, with two very popular celebrants in the room, we don't want people to go, we want to book George, we want to book Alan, and then find out a week later they're not available. So they can see right there and then who's available.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when I'm speaking to couples, you're talking about the availability checker, Laura. It's kind of like celebrant Tinder.
It is. Do you know, George, it's funny you say that. When people ring up and ask, I always go, you'll just know. And then I say, I feel like I'm
selling.
I do feel like I'm kind of going, you'll just know. You'll know when you've met the right one. It is, and it does make me laugh because that's what I feel sometimes. Is it is like swipe left, swipe right. Maybe we should add that as a
Maybe we
feature.
should add it.
Yeah,
Just for a
swipe
bit of a-
left and swipe right.
Oh,
Nah,
listen,
That'll be the
have-
next thing.
Have you seen the latest, completely off topic, what Primark are doing?
The
What with the
rebranding thing.
Primark?
Yeah, very clever.
Right, so they're bold enough to say, have you seen that?
Yes.
That, maybe we should just say, right,
Yeah.
hey, fancy keep a celebrant Tinder. Come to the Fuze.
It's absolutely what it
But it
feels
really
like.
is. Connecting with people is a massive
Love
thing,
that.
you know? Because we're offering a service that is so uniquely personal that it's not just someone turning up you've never met. It's actually much more deeper than that. And talking to turning up, Laura, you've been to a number of my ceremonies to say
I
hello
have.
and stuff like that. Talk us through how important it is to do that quality assurance on the team and them to feel that it is quality assurance and support.
Really important. We have celebrants all over Scotland, so we don't get to pop into an office and see each other, you know, every day.
Yeah.
So for me to go out and about as much as I do, and Morag does too, it's so important because when couples speak to me about the team, I need to know what I'm talking about. So if I've never seen them do a ceremony, how can I possibly comment on what style of ceremony they will give? So it's really important from that perspective, also for me to spend some time. It's great for us to connect to the other suppliers that are there. But most importantly, as you say, George, it just gives us that reassurance that everybody is happy, that everything's being done as it should. There could be something that one of the team is doing that they're unaware isn't maybe quite right. And if we've never caught that, that's not their fault. That's totally ours. So it's so important and I love it. I absolutely love it. I always end up getting involved. I can't help myself. I'll be straightening chair covers or doing something. But I love it because, I mean, I'm not biased, but we have got an amazing team of celebrants. Some would say I am biased. I don't believe I am. We have an amazing team of celebrants. So for me to get with no stress, no pressure, I just turn up, get to watch an amazing ceremony, and then spend some time with our amazing team. So love it, and it's so important.
What about you, Alan? What's, when Laura and Morais came to see you then, how do you think that fits in with your like professional development as a celebrant?
It's vital, really, and it is, as Laura said, it's reassuring as well when you get the feedback. Morag came out to one I did last year, and it was Glenbervie House in Falkirk, and this was quite a big wedding. It was also doubly pressure for me because it was actually the wedding of the couple who had won it on the radio station that I was working at. So I had the double thing of I'm the guy from the breakfast show who's doing the wedding, and I'm also being shadowed by one of our bosses on a Tuesday afternoon in February. I'm like, wow. And there was 130 people at this wedding, so
Wow.
it was a big crowd, and Morag was away out the back. And the first thing she said to me when she came down at the end was, I heard every word.
Yeah.
Which was really important because then you knew the people at the back.
Yeah.
And that wasn't you sort of, shouting to make sure the people at the back could hear. And she had some feedback for me, which was really, really useful. Think about it. It wasn't like you're not doing this correctly or whatever. It was just like you could do this, or next time you do this, try X, Y. And you think, all right, okay, yeah. And it's just little simple things. And it lets you kind of, adapt. And I think the more ceremonies you do learn, if you think I could have done that better or I could have done that differently. And so you sort of build up your own knowledge as you go along as well. But it's great though, because you always know that the guys are on hand for any kind of support you need.
Yeah.
Whether they're at a ceremony or they're at the end of a phone, as Laura says, end of an email. It's really, really great. And it's just part of that sort of family ethos that Fuze has that I think is pretty unique and pretty special, really.
Yeah.
I've also stolen stuff as well, not physically.
Okay.
You're
not
like, I'll
announcing.
take this chair.
That's a lovely
thanks."
quake.
Police at the door as I leave. What I mean is I have stolen ideas from the team and said to other celebrants, oh, Alan does this. Have you thought about this? And, I don't physically walk out carrying.
The expression I use is pinch with pride.
Yep. Love that.
Like that.
That might be one that you want to slap in
Yeah,
the
rather than I
vocabulary.
just steal things.
I like that.
So
Any venue I
I
turn
do
up now, they'll be
have,
panicking.
A question about then, so like your newer celebrants, when you first started out, do they have an opportunity to go and see other people, or say if you're having a bit of a writer's block, you must get it in some ways, and you're looking for a way to revamp it. Can you look at what other people are doing, or how does that actually work. I'm shouting out to all of you, really.
You don't know where it lives.
I'm asking that too. But
I've suddenly become a guest.
I told you, George, I'll end up taking over.
Absolutely. So everyone who, when they first start out, they get to shadow ceremonies, both weddings and funerals.
Okay.
So they're able to basically see what they've been learning and in practice and just pick up some tips. But the most important thing is we are always there for their first ceremony. So we will do a script review with them. We're on hand if they've got any questions before they meet the couple or afterwards. But we'll do a full script review with them, and either myself or Morag will be there for their first ceremony, for most importantly, to make sure the paperwork's been completed correctly. So just for that, and to be able to go up to them and go, you did it. How do you feel, you know? Sometimes the guests will know it's their first ceremony, sometimes they won't. But yeah, I think that's really important, just to have somebody there to go, yay, you know?
I think it's really important for people watching this to know this is what's happening in the background beyond what guests and couples see sometimes is someone turning up for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
There is a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like the qualification alone, Laura, is vital, isn't it, for Fuze?
Absolutely. I think there is the sort of, although it doesn't sit under Fuze Ceremonies, it sits under Fuze Management as the whole company. There is a training that's SQA accredited, which is the only one in Scotland. It's the only accredited training. It is really important because we take what we do really seriously, as you guys know, and it's, to me, it's about having that professionalism. And also, I mean, you guys can comment on this. I've done it, but I'm not an active celebrant. To have that certificate, it just feels like it's all of that work. You've got something to show for it.
Well, mine is on my wall in my
lovely.
office, beside where I take, if I'm meeting a couple, maybe just to chat to find out if I'm the guy for them, or it's a couple where they're actually doing the planning of the ceremony.
Yeah.
And having that there is almost like, it's that sort of reassurance that, well, you've done this training, you've got this at your back, you do know what you're doing. And I'm very proud of it. I've got to say, I'm sure everyone in the team would say the same. And I think it is something when couples realise you have actually gone through all this. You're not just, as you say, George, just rocking up and, doing the vows and then, heading off again. There is a lot goes into
the
it.
The journey is, you've done the training, you've got the diploma, you are supported through your first ceremony and first ceremonies if needed. You go and view some people.
Yep.
So you can get some, what do you call it? Pension what?
Pinch with pride.
That's the one.
You pension with pride visits to see some other ceremonies.
But I've had a couple of the team who've asked me, would it be okay if they come up to one of my ceremonies? And I'll say absolutely, because I know what it was like at the beginning and how nervous you are, and knowing you've got that sort of support behind you, whether it's the management or it's fellow celebrants. So I'm always like, come along and we'll help each other out.
And for me, what that kind of, the circle closes off when you get a review through.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the best feeling in the world, whether it be a text message, thank you card, sometimes gifts. You never look for these things, but they happen. But I know we're particularly proud, aren't we, Laura, at Fuze, about the coming up for 3,000 soon, I think, reviews that we have.
Absolutely. And it's testament to the team. Everything, the reviews are personally for the team. So when the links are sent out, it's for the celebrant. People say lovely things about Fuze as an organisation as well, which is great.
Yep.
But they're
You've
for
been
us.
named in a fair few, Laura.
You have actually, a couple of mine you've featured.
You and Morag.
It's just lovely for me and Morag and Anne just to sit and see that you guys get the credit you absolutely deserve.
Yeah.
You work so hard, as you've just said. You don't just turn up on the day.
Yeah.
Despite popular belief, still I think people think you do. Just
I know
rock
I
up
like
and-
to slag you for it, but you just do a lot of work. I do. Usually I go, you half
when you're
day,
doing
and then
your-
I go, right, but it isn't actually a half day, guys. He actually works really hard behind the scenes and he's had to prep. And then I find myself getting dead defensive against the
I
celebrant.
kind
I'm
of
like,
say it's the opposite of, when a photographer comes to the ceremony itself, and content to an extent, but I'll justify that in a second. But a photographer, videographer, they come on a day, they shoot the stuff, and then they spend sometimes 3 months, sometimes longer at doing the edit.
Their
Yeah.
work's done after.
And after, so
The
we,
ceremony.
as a
Yeah.
celebrant, we kind of the 3 months we meet them or thereabouts,
Yeah.
and then you do all the kind of back and forth and the perfecting the script, and then you turn up on the day and you leave. So you're kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah.
For content, you're slightly different because you're content creators are badged up as
Yep.
you'll get your content in 24 hours.
24 hours. So the minute I get back
Yeah.
in the car, and as soon as I get back home, I'm
Yeah.
still shut off from the world to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not available yet.
But you've got clever because you do kind of edit some stuff on the go, don't you? When there's
Usually
the odd
during
second or two.
Usually during my dinner, I'm like,
Yeah.
I love the chat, folk, but I'm
I
a
can
bit-
get this meal done.
I really need to get this done. But no, I'm pretty suave with it
Nah.
now. I managed to get the timing down, so that's
Well,
To
What-
fine art.
yes.
I know. One of the proudest things for me with Fuze is being in my sort of day job with Fuze as the brand ambassador, and in particular with the charity stuff. And I just absolutely love it. It's been an absolute honour to be the kind of face of Fuze, along with Morag and you, Laura, and the team. But that's amazing to give back like we do. And when you are having conversations and when you take calls as well, Laura, in the office, I know you talk about it all the time. You can hear it in the phone about you with people. They're just so taken aback that we give back the way that we give back.
100%. I think it surprises people, and how lovely to know that you are contributing to not only two amazing charities that we're supporting. We change them every year, or they stay the same, but they're voted for every year by the team. But also, helping people that are in financial difficulty at a difficult time already of their
Yeah.
lives, or couples that are, we don't charge if we're doing an end-of-life wedding, for example. So every single one of our couples who get married by one of our team is contributing to the foundation, which is just amazing.
I get that a lot, when you tell couples that there's a charitable donation as part of their fee, that they are quite taken aback in a good way. And especially if they maybe have an association with one of the charities, if maybe, a relative was cared for, or they maybe did their own donations through fundraising themselves, marathons, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a really, really special thing that we do. And it's definitely a lot of acknowledgement from the couples when you tell them that, all right, yep, great.
Yeah. It's something that I don't see a lot with, other places. I don't think I've actually ever seen it with anyone. And it's just a testament to like how long it stands. It's not just something to put up to say you've done it once. It has stood the test of time, which is really nice to see as a ongoing supporter. To actually see it happen year on year has been really, really nice for me to see that.
Well, with since Fuze was founded, it's just shy of £110,000 that's been donated to charity.
Wow.
Excuse me. So, I mean, that's phenomenal. That's absolutely
That's
phenomenal,
amazing.
and it's testament to everybody who's been in the team, is still in the team, past and present, and every single one of the couples that have chosen somebody in Fuze to marry them. And it, like you, George, it makes me feel so proud that we do give back. And it's so important, it's so lovely what we do, but being able to help people as well. I mean, you do pinch yourselves. Not about you guys, and obviously being in the industry now, but I just think, how is this my life? Like, how lucky am I?
Yeah.
I know.